Hello, and welcome back to Cape Corner, where we explore the history, story, and cultural impact of a different character or group every episode. I'm Blue, and today I'm joined by my good friend Kairu.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah. So, uh, as you may have noticed from our past string of episodes, I've been on a robot kick lately. I just really wanted to talk about, especially giant robots, but I also did wait, I did do a smaller episode, a smaller robot episode, right? Hang on, let me look at my.
I mean, there was a Mega Man.
Did I do Mega Man? Oh yeah, I guess that was like a couple weeks just before. Um, but yes, I'll still count it. It's close enough. Um, so today we are going to be talking about uh, a smaller robot, and uh, what's really fun is a lot of these episodes tend to be me explaining a concept or a franchise to someone. I explained Pokemon and Digimon to Jay. Uh, I explained Kingdom Hearts to both of them. Uh, I just did Team Diger and explained that to Jordan. Today, Kairu is going to be explaining something to me because I know little to nothing about this. Oh shit, I forgot to look up. Does she have like a nickname? A lot of times I like to be like, we're going to talk about, and then I'll list out like monikers. So like for the Superman episode, I was like, today we're going to be talking about the Man of Steel, the Man of Tomorrow, the Last Son of Krypton. We're talking about Superman, right?
Right. So that's the funny thing. She has a moniker, Battle Angel,
Oh yeah, I
but
guess that would be it.
right, of course. But she actually has like several names. We can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Alita. Now, she recently had a live action movie. Um, and I know that that sort of brought this friend. That was loud as fuck. Did that pick up on the mic?
I think it's all right.
Okay, there was like someone dropped something on the floor, which is the ceiling right above my head.
Okay. But no, I think
Any,
it's fine.
okay. Anyway, so I know that the franchise has been sort of brought to a little more bit more of a mainstream consciousness recently, thanks to that. But it is a older franchise, right?
Right, right. It is I want to say from like the 90s, I want to say. At least that's when it like first got into like major serialization.
Yeah, I that might also just be because there was a big anime boom in the mid '90s, where thanks to things like Akira and Dragon Ball Z, people started becoming like anime started getting localized and brought over to the West, and that led to a big global boom for like the anime economy, if you want to call it that.
Hmm.
Um, but regardless, this is a franchise I know next to nothing about. From what I gather, it's kind of like a Mega Man or an Astro Boy kind of situation where it is a girl, but girl is robot and girl fight bad thing.
You're
Um,
not wrong.
uh, so, all right, why don't you go ahead and start telling me a little bit about Alita?
All right. So there's this uh I don't know if you want to use the term android or cyborg, but let's just go with cyborg, I guess.
Was she
Um
like a person that was mechanized?
uh yeah, essentially well at first she was a person, but then long story short, she became fully robotomized except her brain and no, I think that's about it. I think it's just her brain that's like human.
Okay, I would still say that's cyborg, as long as there's any human material in there.
Okay.
Because like the whole thing of cyborg is that it's an amalgam word for cybernetic organism.
Hmm.
So it's pretty much just, is there a little bit of robot in you? Is there a little bit of creature in you? Like technically, a person with a prosthetic arm is a cyborg.
Ah, right. Okay, I see. So then, yeah, I would definitely label her as a cyborg.
All
But
right.
if anyone wants to get technical about it, I mean, I'm sorry.
You know what? They could fight me about it.
All right, but I'm not sure what more to say. So there's this these two major settings. Um, there's the Iron City, or really the world, the Earth as it is currently in a sort of dystopian society, not really post-apocalyptic necessarily. Um,
But like on the decline.
you're right, of course. And
Okay.
then literally above them, like literally looking down on the surface peasants is the people of Zalem. And and then Zalem has like different sectors. There's like the Earth orbit kind of like the like in the sky, lower section of Zalem. But then there's this like giant tube that like goes up into like space
Like a
in
space
like the
elevator.
right, exactly, in this like outer orbit section of Zalem. And so like there's like sectors to it, and like the higher you go, the is like, just basic hierarchy.
Okay, so right away, you talking about this like floating city that's split into sectors looking down over the surface of the earth. It immediately reminds me of Midgar.
Yeah, I could see that. But very a little less capitalist and a lot more entitled snobby folk.
There's a Venn diagram there. Uh, but all right. Now also when you talk about the hierarchy literally being higher up, like the higher up you go, the more elitist the people are. Um,
Right.
that reminds me of a franchise that I don't know if you would ever heard of. Like nobody knows this but me, but it's called The Seventh Tower.
I wish I could say I knew it. What's up with that?
It was a book series by I believe Garth Nix, and I found it because it was one of the books that was in like my middle school library or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
and it's like it's a mixture of a few things. It's a little bit Narnia, it's a little bit Green Lantern, it's a little bit like Blue Dragon or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something. And it's got basically the entire plot of that is that there's this tower with a caste system in it, and red is the lowest caste and purple is the highest. So like as you ascend in the color spectrum, you're more important. And they get rings that match their color, and like orange can like shoot a little fireball or whatever, and purple can straight up make constructs like Green Lanterns. Um, but they also have like shadows that are like creatures that act as like JoJo stands, which protect them. But then those shadows are actual like mythical creatures. They cross over into like a fantasy alternate plane, and it's a very cool franchise.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of like because like the violet people, they're all the way on the top, and being like, okay, the more elite you get is like the higher up you go towards space. Definitely reminds me of that.
Hmm.
So, uh, is it just like, uh, is there an antagonistic force in this series? Like, is it just the ruling class, or is there like a Team Rocket kind of? Uh,
So that's the weird thing. So like I guess it depends on what resource you're looking at.
mhm,
Um, for example, the manga has a very clear distinction from the live action movie, where there's a character in in the movie and the manga called Desti Nova, who's basically a mad scientist, but
yeah,
he basically he's not really so much an agent of chaos or like not necessarily antagonistic. From what I gather from him from the manga, he's just a mad scientist who likes to do mad scientist shit just for the sake of it.
okay.
And
We love a crazy person.
oh yeah, and like his biggest thing is flan. That's his most
Like the
he
pudding?
yeah, like the pudding, like he's obsessed with flan.
Okay.
so as a like a comic relief sort of thing. Um, but the live action movie paints him as like the be all end all like antagonist, but then I don't really feel him as that, not so much. Throughout the manga, there's different. It's sort of like like a typical manga anime thing. Like as she traverses through her journey, there's a new, stronger antagonist for her to face off against.
Okay, so it's kind of it follows like the shonen
Yeah,
style antagonist where there's a gradual escalation in threat with different people.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. And about the whole the Flan guy being turned into a straight up villain in the movie. Hollywood loves to do that shit. They do not like character nuance. They want it to be extremely black and white and very simple, and so they like to take sort of morally neutral characters and be like they have to be good or bad.
Yeah, right.
So
Um, then if I can, I would say if anything, generally the society of Zalem, there are some decent, like, good people in Zalem and whatnot, but like the elite kind of people, they're kind of the problem or the antagonists, I would say. Um, but they're the kind of people that like in society with that like they can't stand the thought of anyone being anywhere near as good as them or having it anywhere near as good as them. Like they'll do everything in their power to keep you down and then judge you for not being as like elite as they are. For example, uh, one thing you'll notice throughout the series is, if I'm remembering correctly, birds. Birds are not a thing on the surface world.
oh my god. It sorry, that reminds me of do you know the actual like there are no birds conspiracy theory?
No, I don't. That sounds pretty wild though.
There's a conspiracy theory that people actually believe that birds are a species that died out like decades ago or something, and now all birds are just drones.
I'm 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 sorry. That's that sounds highly unnecessary.
It would be really difficult to get a drone crammed into a tiny little body like that, but whatever. Um, real quick, not to cut you off, but do you think that is there any way you might be able to turn your gain up just a little bit?
Turn the what?
It's like your vocal volume, your gain. Uh,
Oh, okay. How about that?
I don't want to completely drown you out when we talk.
Okay. Is that any better?
Maybe a little bit more if you can.
Give me 1 second. All right, yeah, that looks like about as high as I can get it.
Okay, that does sound better.
All right.
All right, just because like you're a little bit quiet, and I didn't want to like whenever we talk just completely silence you. You know,
Hey, I mean it's your show, man, but yeah, I'll try to not be so mousy.
it's okay. Like I'm not gonna. I promise. There's no stress here. I ain't gonna force you to do nothing.
All
Um.
right.
Okay, so there's like a theme of like being against classism in this series, though, right? I think you muted
I
yourself.
mentioned they don't like to be able to get up to them. Like that's the problem. It's like they keep advertising about, oh, if you work hard enough, if you're famous enough, you can get up to Zalem. So just, keep at it. Keep entertaining us, gladiatorial style. But
That's 100% capitalism, right? That's
exactly. But then there's another thing of like, so um any kind of flight, like at all, is immediately shot down by their turrets. Like that's why there's like no birds.
oh,
This one person tried to use a hot air balloon to like sneak his way up there, and they're like, "Nice try, nah," just dead on the spot.
so if you're not using that space elevator, you ain't doing shit to get any higher.
Yeah, you're basically not getting up there. like they advertise for you to get up there to do everything you can to please them to get up there, but you're not.
Oof, it's fucking dark.
Yeah, they're pretty messed up.
Yeah. So, uh, okay, let's talk a little bit about the protagonist. And now that I got a better idea of the kind of world that she's in, so
Mhm.
how did she become Alita?
So I forgot how many like years it is, but she's pretty old. Um, she was this assassin character, um, trained in this like a cyborg martial arts called I think it's called Panzerkunst or something like that.
What is that,
Um,
like German?
I think so. I actually there's a lot of things, names in the manga that I'm pretty sure are German based or German inspired.
It's always like I don't want to use the term red flag, but it does always worry me just a little bit whenever I see an anime property that uses German language. Ever since I found out that the Attack on Titan guy is a Holocaust denier.
Which is so ironic because, like, do you mind if I go on a little tangent here for just a
Go
second?
for it.
Okay, for me personally, so I wouldn't watch Attack on Titan for so many years that then I finally binge watched it, and
Hmm.
then I got to season four, and the transition from season three to season four was the most jarring anime transition I've ever encountered.
I've
It
heard
was
that.
a wildly different tone. It went from being this survival man versus Titan, how will humanity like overcome this like these overwhelming odds, suddenly being about the goddamn Holocaust. Like that came out of nowhere. Like I mean like direct like analogy to the Holocaust of like wearing like badges on their arms as identifying them as like lower citizens and stuff like that. Like it was jarring how much of a shift that was.
Yeah, that's why like now whenever I see Japanese people use German language, I tense up. I'm like, you're not a neo-Nazi, are you? Like, I was looking up Liger Zero from Zoids the other day.
Right.
I was reminded that his modular systems are called Schneider, Jaeger, Panzer, and I was like, uh-oh.
Right. No, 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 no. But I mean, I have a soft spot for Void anyway.
Yeah, but uh, I feel like I was gonna say something that I forgot. So just
All right, sorry.
it's okay. No, it's me, man. It's the ADHD. I get excited talking about this stuff and talking with a buddy of mine, so it gets my mind moving a little bit too fast from my mouth sometimes.
No, no, same boat, buddy. Same boat.
Yeah, same hat. All right.
So,
Oh, and just so you know, because I meant to tell you up top, Zoom will time limit us.
it's
So
right.
when it pops up, I'll give you a 10-minute warning. If we keep talking past that 10 minutes, we'll just take a forced ad break and I'll send you a new link and we'll keep going.
Okay. All right. So where should we continue from?
Okay, so you said that Alito was an assassin trained in like a cyborg martial art.
Right, right. That's it. Okay, so a lot of her backstory is revealed more and more as time goes on in the manga. I'm honestly only maybe halfway or so through the Last Order series. Like I finished the original series, and I'm about halfway through the Last Order. I haven't really checked out the Mars Chronicles. Um, so I'm not like the be all end all. Like I know everything about Alita,
Well,
but
you definitely know more about it than I do.
I'm a little passionate about it. And that's if I can mention real quick about her name. Uh, she has like a few different names.
Okay.
Like I mean her cute little moniker of Battle Angel, right? But more than that, her name, like her canon name originally was like Garya, Garyi, and
Okay.
but then like a translation of that was like a Gunmu or something, a Gunnm, and then they were like, you know what, let's call her Galley, and then it is somehow changed. They changed it to Alita, so she has like all these different names. So I guess pick one.
So is that supposed to be like how the evolution of language changes names over translations over centuries? Like how you know all the days of the week are named after Norse gods.
Right.
So like some of them are pretty obvious, like Thursday is Thor's day, but then you've got ones that is like, okay, we got Odin's Day, which then became Woden's Day, which then became Wednesday. Um, so is it kind of like that? Like people were uh, like developing her name over time,
To
or is
be
it just
honest,
like multiple aliases?
I feel like it's just again, I tried looking into it back in the day, and I couldn't find a very clear-cut answer or nothing that like satisfied my question. I feel like it's different media just want to stick to a different name. For example, like the Western audiences now know it as Alita, but the OVA, the anime OVA from the 90s, she's called Gally, and but originally she was called like Gun or something in the original translation.
It's funny
So
because whenever I think of a robotic being named Gally, I think of the character from Bionicle.
see, I love Bionicle, but which one?
She was the original blue Toa.
Oh, okay, like from the original movie, or like the ones one of the sequel ones where they were like, oh, these ones were first from the other region.
Well, the original movie, the original toy line. She was the first Toa of water. She had the water hooks. Um,
Yeah, okay.
the movie, they were the Toa Nuva, so they were upgraded. So they had the silver armor.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was still her. It was just Gally Nuva.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember those.
I gotta do a
Um,
Bionicle episode at some point.
yes, please do. Like, if I'm not a part of that, I will listen religiously.
All right.
But back to the about her backstory.
Right.
So something happens, and there's like a resistance attack on Zalem. Trying to liberate and like connect the two uh settings, I guess.
It's those damn Antifa again, doing good things for.
Yeah, right. But but basically,
Oh, there's the
something.
10-minute warning, by the way.
Okay, so we got 10 minutes.
Yeah,
All right.
and then we'll take a break for like a minute.
Okay. Well, she something goes wrong and she basically gets like chopped up and she falls allegedly to her death in the scrapyard where like all these like parts and stuff fall from Zalem.
Mhm.
And a long time passes, many, many years, like 100 years or something like that. And she's picked up by this scientist whose main job is to patch up other cyborgs. Um, and he finds her head, and it was functional, or he was able to make it function, and the face was intact for some reason. But he ended up rebuilding her. And fun fact, in the live action movie, and I don't mind the change really. Um, he names her Alita after his after his lost daughter, but actually he named her after his cat.
Okay.
I mean, I
Um,
don't.
so okay, so just so I'm clear, so she was already a cyborg back in the day.
From what I understand, yeah, she so born a human, and then she got like enhanced and stuff.
So it's kind of like a cyberpunk thing where you get body upgrades.
Yeah, yeah, it's very much in that vein.
Okay.
Or what's that other game called? uh Ex Deus Ex Machina or something like that. Deus
Oh,
Ex?
Ex Machina. Or yes, DSX. Ex Machina is a different thing. God damn it.
No, that I got confused with the movie too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I would assume that the only reason that her head like didn't decay and her brain was functional to be rebooted and shit like that is because she had cybernetic stuff in her head. Because a human head would just decompose after 100 years if it wasn't cybernetically enhanced.
I mean, or just trying to throw this out there,
Okay.
it could just be some anime BS.
Yeah, but I like to try to find some kind of like okay, Dragon Ball is a series that is riddled with plot holes if you're going strictly by what the series itself says. Um,
Hmm.
and it is saved by fan theories or interviews with creators providing additional information. Like I've been watching through the Dragon Ball series with my buddy Lou, and a lot of times I'll be like, they will never explain this thing, so let me explain this to you right now so it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I like trying to figure out the logistics of the world. Like I only leave it to it's just a show, don't think about it if I really need to.
Yeah. Again, I have to. It's been a while since I read like the first like volume.
Mhm.
Um, but as far as I can remember, damn, I really can't remember if her because I'm pretty sure her brain is real, but I think her head might be cybernetic. Like,
If it comes down to it, we can always just say it's nanobots, and that solves most problems.
actually, it's funny you mentioned that. The Destinova guy, he loves nano machines.
There
Like,
you go. Nanomachines, son.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, but how should we continue? I don't know if you only have like a few minutes left for the break.
It's like 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So the scientist that finds her um and repairs her. So like you said she was like a trained assassin, so she was already battle ready back in the day.
So that's the thing. So she was battle ready, like she was like a top dog kind of thing.
Mhm.
And, but then she uh classic amnesia, she lost all her memories and whatnot. They were like they became like suppressed memories or repressed memories.
Okay.
And then in times of high stress, suddenly like it would subconsciously come to her mind and she would know her body would know what to do before her mind did, kind of thing. Her body would
Just
act follow kind of thing.
it's almost like having muscle memory even though she doesn't have muscles.
And no, exactly that, exactly that.
All right. That's
Uh,
cool. That makes for you see, okay. A lot of times with series like this, especially older school anime where a girl is the main character, I assume it's going to be a shojo series like a Sailor Moon, but that this has all of the trappings of a shonen series from what you've told me so far. Because even to the point where you've got hidden reserves of power that you can't tap into at will, but in moments of dire need, it will just sort of come out. That's very Naruto. That's very Gohan from DBZ.
like honestly, I haven't seen much of um One Punch Man, but the one guy, what's his name? Who's the
Saitama.
robot?
Oh, Genos.
Genos. I'm not to trigger any One Punch Man fans. I've only seen like clips and stuff, so whatnot. But my general impression, my comparison of Alita to him is she's like a female version of him if he didn't constantly lose.
I was gonna say Genos is not a winner in the series.
Right. Like if he had a, you know, let's turn the
If he wasn't second fiddle to Saitama.
right. If he was like the main character.
Yeah. Also, don't worry. There's no love lost between me and super big One Punch Man fans. Like I like One Punch Man, but I also harbor no illusions about the power scaling of it because people are like, Saitama can do anything. Saitama is the strongest in all of anime. And I'm like, he's not. like he's strong, but a, a serious punch splitting the atmosphere of a planet or making a crater in a planet is not the same as a serious punch, let's say, shaking the entire goddamn universe, which was what Goku
Like,
did.
yeah, and then there's wasn't there the whole thing in Daiguren where like they were
Yeah,
like shattering galaxies or something like
they,
that?
they were attacking people in multiple timelines, and they were they were traveling through conceptual realities as they were imagined, and they were throwing galaxies and tanking the explosion of the Big Bang. It's like I'm
So
sorry, but that's just on a higher scale. Like
yeah,
eh,
let's slow down, Saitama fans.
I don't need the characters that I love to always be the strongest thing in all of fucking anime, right? I like
Right.
Luke Cage, but Luke Cage would 100% get rolled by like the Hulk.
Oh, absolutely. Like I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with like, having other parts that are interesting about you besides I punch good.
Yeah, you can have different tiers of strength in your series, and in anime, we really run the gambit of different kinds of tiers of strength. And Saitama, yeah, he's probably like a planet buster if he really tried hard, but
Hmm.
Dragon Ball Z characters have been doing that since the Saiyan saga. So let's just chill out on the
Yeah.
whole Saitama would be Goku. No.
Oh my God.
But anyway, all right, we're getting close to our mandated break. So but yeah, Alita, I'm a little bit surprised. Like, I mean, I knew it was going to be around fighting. Battle Angel is in the name, uh, but I was kind of imagining it would be more like Sailor Moon, which has fighting, but the tropes it draws on, the themes of the series, it's shojo, which for anybody who might be listening that doesn't know, shojo is the Japanese word for young woman or girl, and shonen is for young boy. And it basically just means that they make certain series for girls and certain series for boys. And as gender normative as that is, uh, it tends to come with different kind of things. So I'm pleasantly surprised to hear that Alita might be more up my alley than I originally sort of conceived of it.
Oh no, if honestly, if you're a fan of shonen, I highly recommend at least checking it out, whether you want to try out the manga. The live action movie does a fantastic job, not gonna lie. Like personally,
Really.
I watched so I knew a little bit about Alita, but I never was like into it. But then I watched the movie um when it came out, and
And that sort
honestly,
of sparked your interest.
yeah, it sparked my interest. So I immediately went and I got a few volumes of the manga, and then after reading that, I went back to see the movie again, and I was just like drawing comparisons. I was like, you know what? I think they did a pretty.
Sorry about that. I was trying to avoid that, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, sorry, I should have paid more attention, but I was just in it.
I know. Well, that's what it is. With like that's what I like this series to be. It's mostly just us talking and getting excited about shit that we like. And if we go off on tangents, that's a conversation, baby. You know, like um.
Sweet.
So, oh yeah, like so I mentioned to you when I first started this, I was like writing scripts and shit. Um,
Mhm.
I think for the first 6 episodes, I was alone and I wrote scripts for all of them so I could keep on track. And those episodes were shorter. I think Superman episode was like a 40-minute episode. Um, and now my episodes average around an hour and a half. Um, like for episode 7, that was the first one when Jordan joined me. And I wrote a script leaving gaps for him to say things in it. Um, but uh, after that, for episode 8, I was like, you know what? We just talk so naturally. Like, let's just do that. And I said, fuck the script. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And it works because it's like I only bring on people that like I get along with or I know decently well. And as a result, it's like we know that we can be chill, we can be friendly, and so I just sort of let it evolve naturally, you know?
And hey, I appreciate the honor, man.
Hey, well, I felt kind of bad because I was like, hey, do you want to be on an episode? And then I thought, I should really invite people on more because of how casual it is, and like especially my friends. I don't know why I never thought of doing that before. Like
Hey,
I've had some guests once or twice. I had Andrew from True Believers. He was on the Hulk episode, which was really great because he thought Hulk was a mindless property, and I was like, no, that's just how they treat it. It's about like dissociative identity disorder and psychological trauma.
yeah,
Abuse.
yeah. That wasn't he like created because of his need to cope with the trauma?
Yeah, his father abusing the shit out of him when he was a kid formed a divergent personality that is where he stored all of his anger and resentment at, the world. And that became a sub personality in his subconscious. And when he got hit with the gamma bomb, it took form as Hulk. That's why Hulk initially can only speak like a child, because it was formed during his childhood and has never
Mm.
been conscious since then.
Okay, I see.
It's really cool. So we talked about that, got him into that, and then I had Andy on at one point talking about Venom because Andy is super horny for Venom. um, but yeah, so I apologize. It took me so long to think of bringing you on here.
No, no, no. Hey, better late than never, man.
Yeah. And like I said, if you ever want to join me for future episodes, just let me know.
Oh, I promise. Like you may regret that later, but it's on recording. We got evidence to back it up.
It's content, and it's more of a chance to get to talk to my bud, so it ain't a problem.
All right.
All right.
Um,
So back to Alita though.
right. So I was just talking about how like the personally, I mean, people have their like issues with the live action movie. Like I won't throw out names, but there's this one YouTube channel that was reviewing the movie when it came out, and I'm gonna paraphrase, but they essentially gave it like a below average score, saying one of the people on that review said something along the lines of that movie is meant for the kind of people like when you get beef jerky and inside the package there's that like little package of like packing salt or something that you're not supposed to eat, and there's that label that says don't eat this. That movie is for you because you have the low intelligence to enjoy that kind of movie. And like because like it was a robot kind of movie and there wasn't Optimus Prime in it and it wasn't Call of Duty focused. So they're like, this is the most trash movie I've ever seen.
Oh my god. So let me guess, they're like fans of the Bayverse, the Michael Bay Transformers shit.
That's the funny. I don't even think that they are necessarily. I think they just like to hate on shit just to hate on it.
Oh
And
man.
that is funny because like I've watched that review like so many times because I just enjoy to hate it.
Yeah. No, like that's all, like obviously that dude sounds like he's got some issues with his ability to appropriately criticize media. But you guys enjoy this because you're dumb enough to eat silica gel packets is one of the funniest fucking insults.
Yeah. No, that stuck to me.
And I've said similar shit before. Uh, I am no friends with the Zack Snyder cultists, who like obsessively like will constantly ride the dick of Zack Snyder and claim that his work is God's gift to mankind, and they like harass James Gunn and shit like that. Like I, I I've always been like, I think that that universe's interpretation of characters like Superman and Batman and the Flash are really bad interpretations of those characters, because those characters have, you know, extremely um, detailed and cohesive and consistent characterizations in, across comic books and cartoons and movies.
Hmm.
And then that series of movies very specifically diverged from all of that consistent characterization very drastically, but it also didn't treat them as like just elseworld versions of the beloved characters. They were that universe's prime iterations of those characters, and I think that that is a poor example of an adaptation. These are the things I think, but usually what just comes out is you're just fucking dumb and I hate you and you're ugly, and so
Oh,
I get it.
yeah, same.
But it's also, it makes me kind of jealous to know that Alita got a good uh or at least a fairly good um movie adaptation, like a Hollywood movie adaptation of an anime property, because we don't get those a lot. Um Specifically Dragon Ball Evolution and The Last Airbender come to mind.
Well, the funny thing is, you know, like so James Cameron, one of the most famous directors in the world.
Yeah, the guy
Um,
that lives in a submarine.
right, the one that's famous for like two movies. Like
Yeah.
his main fame comes from like two movies. But anyway, he had the rights to it for since like the 90s, and he just kept postponing it, and eventually it just wasn't gonna get done. It was gonna be another one of his like shelved projects.
Mm-hmm.
But along comes Robert Rodriguez, the director of Spy
Spy
Kids.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, a long story short, James Cameron had this like giant like manuscript for like the screenplay,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "Yeah, I have to just give this up. I need to focus on my other stuff." He goes to Robert Rodriguez. He says to him, "If you can condense this into a reasonable like running time, the project is yours. I'll hand it over to you." And well, yeah, hence the movie that we got was Robert Rodriguez
I didn't
condensed.
know it was a Robert Rodriguez production. See, I have such a massive respect for that man, because in a world with people like Scorsese trying to say that the MCU isn't real cinema or fucking whatever, like it's always such a breath of fresh air to not have the like response of being like, no, no, our movies are intelligent and they're really well made, and which they are. Like people need to stop shitting on the MCU so much. But to just be like, who fucking cares? It's a movie, baby. Have some fun.
Right.
Making cartoons on the big screen. Shit is crazy.
Like like you don't see me like I've never understood that mentality. Why do you have to shit on something that you're not the target audience for? Like you don't see me like roasting on Barney the goddamn dinosaur, you know?
DJ is always wearing a baseball hat, but we never actually see him play baseball. That's a character assassination. No, but okay, so I made an analogy like a few months back where
Hmm.
I was like, imagine that you had somebody who ate normal food, right? They were just like an average citizen who eats at average places. Like maybe you go to Olive Garden once in a while, but a lot of times you're eating like Burger King or whatever, right? And
Hmm.
they start watching the Food Network, or they start watching like, food related YouTube channels, fucking mukbangs or whatever.
I don't
Um,
like where it's going.
and and then they start trying to act like they're now professional food critics, and
Oh my God.
they take restaurants that they used to love eating at, like a fucking Wendy's or whatever, and they start going, um, the quality of the meat here could never compare to Outback Steakhouse. And it's like, well, yeah, because it's a fucking steakhouse and it's a buffet and it's more expensive. Like, obviously, they're like, but I demand that my quality of whatever be better. And it's like, you're talking about a fucking McDonald's. Nobody's going there for gourmet eating. You don't know half of the terms that you're saying because you just heard someone else say them and you think that you gathered their meaning through osmosis. And that's basically what the people who complain about like superheroes in media are. They think that they're cinematic auteurs, but they've never actually made a fucking movie because they're just normal plebs who watch Nostalgia Critic.
Oh my God, yeah. Uh, but about your point, your analogy that you were making, while you're talking about it, I couldn't help but thinking about two things.
Uh
One, that South Park episode of "You're Not Yelping," where like everyone's a Yelp reviewer,
huh.
and second, everyone who's ever seen an episode or two of Food Wars. You know
Uh,
that the anime that like you probably
oh,
should have around children.
it's Shogeki no Soma, right?
Yeah, I forget the Japanese name of it, but yeah,
I I think I just said it.
yeah, no, right. I couldn't remember it earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Isn't that the one where like girls eat a food so tasty that the visualization is that their clothes explode off of them?
Yeah, like dude, the first episode and like the first few minutes, it basically starts with tentacle hentai, like out of nowhere. Like I thought this was a cooking show.
That's it's very anime. Like I thought this was a show about X, but instead it has Y.
Yeah, no, we went straight to Z.
Yeah. I mean, hey, props to them. Uh, so yeah, it's very it's like people get a glimpse of something higher level, and then they want to feel included in that higher level, and so they start becoming elitist. And um, it's not just for movies or food or anything. It's like it happens with sports too. Like people will, especially like baseball fans. I've noticed there's a transition you go from to being like, I think the Blue Jays are cool because they have a cool logo and I like the colors on their outfits. And I watched a few of the games they play and they ran really fast and they hit that ball hard and they were neat. To then going, actually, the Blue Jays are trash because this third string batter's RBI or whatever is only 0.23, where this other guy has an RBI of 0.38. So obviously he's superior, especially when it's like nobody fucking cares.
No, right? Thank you, God. Oh my God.
And
I hate the stat people.
but what gets me about the stat people is that they will then turn around and they will call you a loser if like you can name the Gundam model pieces. It's like it's the same thing. It's just one is about how far a guy can slide to third base or whatever versus what kind of space laser gun this is. Guess which one's fucking cooler?
And yeah, and not to mention like like they'll say like oh like they think they're so awesome and cool because they know like the stats of some athlete or whatever. What good does that actually do them? Like
Yeah,
because they'll say well knowing about Gundam is useless information. Yeah, but
but at least we
what
acknowledge it.
right? What's the point of like knowing someone's rookie card info, stat info? Like
It, it
that's
doesn't
not
make
really
you
getting
play baseball better.
right. It doesn't help you like commentate either. Like I don't really know what to tell you there, Bob.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because that's another thing. Because I think people get confused, or that they start to conflate data recognition with data analysis.
Right.
You can memorize numbers, but if you don't know what those numbers actually mean, you're still ignorant. It's like when people like, okay, again, I get into a lot of political talks on these. It's just who I am these days. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Um, but it's like whenever I'm like minimum wage for many decades was the equivalent of $25 an hour. It stayed that way. And then Reagan happened and everything changed when the Reagan Nation attacked. And now we're at like half of what minimum wage should be. So we should really raise minimum wage up to $25 an hour. And then you get people that say, well, don't you know when you raise the wage like that, it will raise inflation and so it won't have any kind of difference. And I'm like, you're speaking with a single economic fact that you heard in like high school. You are not an economist. You are not a member of the government. You're just saying shit and it's wrong because do you not realize that the government can control the economy. They can put out like mandates on how companies are or are not able to respond to certain environmental stimuli. You can literally raise the minimum wage and then put a cap on inflation in the short term, and then later on, after that's like stabilized, remove that cap, and then as inflation starts to go up, raise minimum wage to match it again. Like, if you have more than a baseline knowledge of these things, these are the sorts of things that become obvious because you're able to analyze the data and different kinds of factors that are in play. But these are the kind of people that they learn one thing, they think they have the full picture, they get a puzzle piece and then start discussing what the entire puzzle looks like to you, even though they haven't gotten the rest of the pieces or put them together.
And you know what? To bring it back into Alita, to compare that a little analogy of yours.
Yeah.
So the ones based in all they're like, oh, this is blah blah blah. This is how it is gonna be because we know one little thing that we learned from high school, and that's the way it is. Like those people you're talking about,
Mhm.
they're like the people on like the lower end of Zalem, and then the government who's actually like that's cute, and we're gonna make the rules. They're the ones on like the upper echelon of Zalem kind of thing.
So it's literally like lower class people cosplaying as higher class people by acting like they know better.
Pretty much, yeah. They're just because they're like a few feet higher above the ground, they're like literally looking down at you. That
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's ooh, I'm trying so hard not to turn everything into a political thing, but that's exactly what transphobes are.
Oh my God.
Because they're like, I learned basic high school biology. It's like, okay, what about advanced biology though?
Oh no. Uh,
But yeah, so that is a good idea to get us segueing back into Alita. So, okay, does she fight um like what are the actual like we talked about the antagonists being like this scientist or the government or whatever or the society and the system, but like on a more tangible level, does she fight like other robots or cyborgs? Does she fight like is there any kind of monsters?
okay.
What's an average um Alita encounter look like?
Okay. I'll mention. I'll try to like bullet point a little bit.
Okay.
One of our first main antagonists was this guy called Gruishka or something like that. Some kind of weird name. Back to the whole German stuff, or unless that's Russian. Either way, he was actually like a sewer dweller, and Desti Nova came across him, and he's like, "I'm gonna save your life." And he basically turned him into this like cyber. Mind you, that guy, that's the sewer dweller. He was like melting and stuff. He was in terrible bad shape, and
Mm.
Desti basically cybernized him, and he essentially became like a worm with a head on it. He looked like a big ass Weedle from Pokemon.
It sounds like body horror.
It was pretty horrific. So
Actually,
what?
now that you mention it, Alita got chopped to pieces, so this sounds like it's going to be a body horror type series.
It does have elements of that. Absolutely, people get torn up, cut up, sliced up, everything. Um, so what happens is so he's this like worm thing, and what he does is he like kind of like drills himself into other like stronger people's bodies and basically takes over them.
He's
Uh,
a tapeworm?
yeah, essentially.
That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, it's pretty gnarly, and
Oh,
but he's in so much pain, right? Like no matter what, he's in constant pain. Mind you, again, as I mentioned, when he was a sewer dweller, his flesh was melting off of him. It, so he's all messed up psychologically and physically, and so he constantly tries to eat people's brains. And in the manga, it mentions something about there's like a chemical or a hormone. There's something in the brain that works as like a aphrodisiac kind of thing, or basically it numbs his pain, and he's addicted to eating brains.
I
And
I think that's just Khufu.
but he's like her main like first antagonist, but he's not much of a threat to her really. She takes him out because she has this like plasma energy that she can do.
Mhm.
So
She
well,
shoots lemons.
no, not so much shoots it. It's more like a sort of like a beam saber kind of thing.
Okay, so she's Zero, not Mega Man.
Yeah, she's Zero, not Mega Man.
Okay, that was
Um,
my lemons thing, by the way. I don't know if that translated.
no, I remember from because I listened to a little bit of your Mega Man podcast, and I did catch the part where you talked about where they were like lemons.
Yeah, I stole that shamelessly from Aaron Hansen, Ego Raptor.
Oh, okay.
He has a sequelitis video on Mega Man X, and when he fires the yellow energy bullets, he's like, yeah, yeah, lemons.
But but that was like her gimmick thing. She has this like plasma thing going on.
Okay.
But so there's two main means of entertainment for the surface dwellers. Um
You
there's like
mentioned a gladiatorial arena.
yeah, there's like a coliseum for like a gladiator combat,
Okay.
and which in the OVA they mention a few times. In the movie they don't. They skip over that, which I think is fair. Um, but there's also what they call rollerball, which is like death race on rollerblades instead of cars.
Okay. So it's Thunderdome, but scaled back, budget
Yeah.
cuts.
Imagine like Megadeth Hot Wheels, but
Oh,
like on
God.
rollerblades.
Oh, that reminds me. So I'm gonna guess you didn't listen to the Vert Wheeler episode I did. But me and my friend Lou actually recently just watched all of the Hot Wheels movies, which punch way above their weight class.
I heard in one of your podcasts you were talking about that you were either about to or you were in the middle of watching the Hot Wheels movies.
They're so good. They're way better than Hot Wheels has any right to be, and they are very much like a Hot Wheels death race, like what you just said.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. And well, I mentioned the rollerball thing because I'll get to that in a minute. But the whole thing about Alita is it's mostly about her development, her regrowing mentally into the character that she once was,
Yeah.
trying to be better based on her new experiences.
So what that sounds like prime video game adaptation material to me because it's like it sounds like her it sounds like at the start of the series she starts at like level 50, but then she gets eviscerated and left to rot for 100 years, and when they wake her up she lost all of her abilities, so you start the game at level 1, and she's leveling up as she slowly regains her past power and whatnot.
That's not a bad comparison, not gonna lie. But
That's like what I immediately thought of when you said that it's less of her developing, more of her regaining what she lost. It's like, it sounds fucking
right,
rad.
yeah, well, she's regaining what she lost, but she's also like trying to be like better because of the experiences that she gains as she's regaining those memories.
Yeah,
Like
I would imagine it would be a sort of union of the personality she developed since being reawakened, meeting in the middle with who she used to be as she regains that.
yeah, and so she like one thing she comes across her first love, this kid called Hugo. I mentioned earlier that like flight was not allowed. There's this one guy who made a balloon, an air balloon, and he got shot down. Well, that was Hugo's brother. And so anyway, Hugo was her love interest at first. They were just like a cutesy like when you're young and naive and you have your first crush kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say things don't end well for Hugo. He his end is very traumatic for her to the point where she goes straight into like a bar and she like runs away from home basically, and she's found by this like pit crew for the rollerball derby, and she's just crying and drinking and all that, and they give her an opportunity to transition into rollerball where she does fantastic, by the way. And she just uses that as a way to get rid of all to like focus all of her angst and her aggression. And there's a character, the champion. Actually, they show his character in the movie, the live action movie. I think his name is Jashugan or something close to that. He's basically their champion,
Okay.
and that's one of the ways to get up there, according to the movie at least, is to get up to Zalem is like the only clear way is if you're like the champion.
All right.
And um
I had a question about Alita real quick
yeah.
because I know she looks. But first of all, she looks fucking horrifying in the live action movie. I'm sorry, I understand what they were going for, but they animeified her eyes in live action, um,
Mhm.
which is like the Lady Gaga Bad Romance video dialed up to 10. Uh, and I don't know, I don't like it personally. But what I was gonna say is she looks very young and childlike. And I think I've seen images of like manga images of her, and I think she looked older, but the way you're describing it now, does she look young? Like, because when you were like, oh, she was an assassin, I was like, oh, so she had to be an adult. But now you're talking about the young love thing, and what what's her deal? Well, what age does she look? I know she's over 100.
Okay, so in the when she's like rebuilt, she's built to be like 16,
Okay,
or something like that. So um I think she was like older as what but in her assassin years. I don't remember her exact age because again I didn't get too far into Last Order. But basically when she was rebuilt by Ito, Dr. Ito, she was built to be like 16, to be like his kid. They uh and then she grows and whatnot. It's funny because like so she is very childish. She's very naive at first. Um, but then in the rollerball, she has her like angsty stage, like her like 90s like grunge kind of like attitude.
she started listening to Nirvana, right? I
Uh,
got
like yeah, listening to that Linkin Park and all
oh
that.
yeah, boy.
And R.I.P. Chester Bennington. But
Yeah, true legend.
oh yeah. Well,
He
so I
had
know.
he had a voice like a battle angel.
Uh, oh my God. Trust me, I don't think you want to start that tangent on Chester Bennington. Like that'll be a whole separate video, a whole separate audio. But but that Jashugan guy, he's like the champion, right?
Yeah,
A funny thing. So she basically like all of her villains. I remember her like beating her defeating them, except him. She never beat him. The thing is, he was a champion because you know how so the people are modified, right? They have these like cybernetic enhancements.
right.
He took it a step further, and if I remember, he modified his brain
Ooh.
um to where he could like react faster, like that kind of stuff. Like he was just better in the
We
brain.
got another 10-minute warning. Just want to let you know. But
Okay,
so if I can bring it back to Cyberpunk, which is a franchise that I know better, so it helps me relate. So he's
yeah.
kind of like the Atom Smasher, and he's got a Sandevistan.
Honestly, I haven't really played Cyberpunk, so I
Oh,
can.
Sandevistan is an upgrade that attaches to your spine and the bottom of your brain, and it allows you to react so fast that you get super speed for like a second or two, but from your perspective, it makes the world around you go into slow motion.
I think it's very comparable. he I know he has this like brain surgery to get it done, rather than spine surgery.
Yeah,
Uh, basically, it's while it is making him a champion, it's also killing him. He's like giving up his life for success,
that is
kind of thing.
actually also comparable because in Cyberpunk, different people have different levels of tolerance for cybernetics, and the more powerful cybernetics or the more cybernetics you have in your body, the more it erodes your mind and you eventually undergo cyber psychosis. And Sandevistan is like a military grade upgrade. So for most average people, even just having that installed would make them turn into cyber psychos.
Yeah, I can see that. And and yeah, so basically it was his own like upgrades, so to speak, that ended up being his undoing rather than her, because they had this like final confrontation on the rollerball court, and where they were gonna like kind of duke it out,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't beat him. He just ran out of time, so to speak.
I think a lot of times when you have a confrontation like that, especially in anime, it can it can feel, this might sound weird, it can feel unsatisfying in a good way. Like it makes the main character who you were rooting for through all of it have to come to grips with the fact that they were given a victory and they didn't earn it. And
Right.
it like that frustration pushes them to improve. Like what I'm thinking of as you say that, again, you know Naruto, right?
I know it well enough, but I haven't seen all of it.
There's a fight in the original Naruto series when they're trying to retrieve Sasuke towards the end, where they're fighting the different members of the Sound Five, and
Okay, I saw that.
Gara and Rock Lee fight this guy Kimimaro.
Yeah, the bone dude.
Yes, and he should be bedridden and pretty much dead,
Yeah,
but he
that's
literally
exactly it.
forced himself through force of will to move out and to help them. And he was dying as he was beating the shit out of both Gara and Rock Lee. And he was literally in the middle of delivering the finishing death blow to them, and then his body gave out.
I could not pick a better analogy. That's exactly it. Now, I should mention there was no animosity between like Alita and the Jashugan guy. It was just he's the champion, she wants to be the champion. That's it, really.
It was like a sports rivalry more than an actual antagonistic hero
Yeah,
relationship.
absolutely. He wasn't like a dick like Jock or anything like that. He was just the champion. He was pretty easygoing for the most part. It was just he was the best and she wanted to be the best kind of thing.
I get that.
Um, but yeah, um yeah, he was doing exactly that, the finishing blow kind of thing, and he just ran out of time.
Man, that's rough. So it sounds like Alita, again, there's so much shonen shit here because even going into our initial arcs are about like life or death battle, but then we take a break and do like a side quest in like a sports type arc for a while. Like Hunter x Hunter had it with the what was it? The tower, the 200 floor tower. Um and then fucking Dragon Ball Z had the world tournament, and uh uh fucking Yu Yu Hakusho had the Demon World tournament. My Hero Academia had the sports festival. It sounds like that was her thing. That was her like
Yeah,
sporting event arc.
and then you mentioned about being unresolved with like, that she was given a victory kind of thing. If I can flashback, there was a part before their final confrontation where they met up in public and they had an arm wrestling match, and they were both used their robot arms, and like it's implied that well, they make it seem like, well, he would have won because they both basically like they fried their arms or something like that, and like she just tore up all her gears in her arms, and they were saying out loud to each other like, oh, that he would have won, that's why he's the champion, blah blah blah. But then in an inner monologue, or maybe he was saying it to his sister, he was explaining that, yeah, no, not gonna lie, she was about to whoop my ass. Like I got sued. He's like, I actually kind of got saved by a bell there.
Yeah, man. It's I like it when it's left ambiguous like that. Like I can't remember. Do you like MHA, My Hero Academia?
I like it enough. I watched up to a certain point, to where like Lemillion and Deku, they see Overhaul
Oh
for the
yeah,
first time. They don't fight him, but they encounter him.
right. You did tell me that. Like what that definitely reminds me of is the sports festival with My Hero Academia, where the final match was Todoroki versus Bakugo, and
Yeah, yeah, right.
Bakugo won, but he only did so because Todoroki didn't go all out, and so even in victory, he felt angry and unfulfilled, and he's like, "No, I didn't earn this."
Yeah, right. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, we're at 3 minutes, by the way, before we have to take another break.
Okay.
Are you still good to talk more about this series? Like, I don't know how much more you got.
Um, I my knowledge gets a little more limited going forward, so I'll just bullet point if you want. Just that
No,
after the
we can do one more segment. It doesn't need to be like full, like because Zoom is pretty much forcing us into like 40-minute talking segments, give or take. Um,
okay.
and oh, and by the way, there is no fix to it. Like one time, I thought I could be clever and be like, oh well, when we reach a natural break point, I can stop the meeting early and then like resume it and get a full 40-minute refresher. Nope. If I do that, it just starts me with the time that I already had left.
Oh, so they're just a bunch of dicks.
They really are. I'm looking at a thing right now. Like, if you don't want this time limit, upgrade to Pro. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I ain't paying for like no.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, we'll just chat a little bit more for the remaining minute 50 seconds or so, and then we can wrap things up in one final part. And again, if anyone's listening and is concerned and doesn't know that this is how I've been doing it lately, I'm not going to put another ad break in this break part because I've only been given one advertisement, and it is with Anchor. Uh, and I'm not going to force you to listen to another fucking Anchor advertisement in the same video.
We
So,
appreciate the mercy, but hopefully you can get some more recognition and get some more sponsors.
yeah, I mean, if the day comes where I get a second sponsor, I will be like, all right, here's my second ad break. but
Yeah, right.
but until then, I won't be a dick. So,
All right. How much time we got left?
less than 1 minute, it says. It does not give me an exact number at this point. It will just say less than 1 minute, which makes it difficult to
Not get cut off.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I will say this series, like, I feel bad because a lot of times people be like, you should watch this. This is really cool. And my executive dysfunction is just like, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, I get it. Like, do you know how many lists I have to go through? Like, how many shows I'm supposed to sit through?
Yeah, you'll say something like, oh, I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. And somebody will be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I have, I have
I'm
seen
I've learned to keep my mouth shut about Cowboy Bebop.
it. Yeah, I just think it'd be funny being like, oh, how could you not have seen every good thing that I like in the world that I've already seen? This is a betrayal.
Hey, I can relate. Uh, like honestly, all right. So if I can mention one that I recommend to anybody,
Okay.
it's one that I stand by. I know objectively it's probably not that great, but one that like a friend of mine showed me a long time ago. I'm a big fan of is called Devil Lady or Go Nagai's Devil Lady. It's like a spin-off of Devil Man.
That's right. You did tell me about this before.
And if I can, do you mind spoilers?
I don't. I mean, if you would prefer, like, if you want to do an episode about it at some point, you might want to like save them
Okay.
for that. Because I
Okay.
have not done a Devil Man episode.
Well, if you like, we can do that sometime. I'll without saying what exactly it is, I'll just mention that there's something that Naruto Shippuden does that I feel is kind of weak, and the Devil Lady does so much better for
Man,
one particular aspect.
there's I feel like that's a that statement can be made about so many fucking things in Naruto Shippuden. This wasn't done very well in this series. It was done better in this. Like I often say that the relationship between Riku and Sora in Kingdom Hearts is like if the relationship between Naruto and Sasuke was done good.
Huh.
Um,
I'm not gonna lie. I've never liked Sasuke. As far as I'm concerned, he has major Harry Potter syndrome, where he's literally just famous for being famous.
yeah, it's like I did an entire episode about Sasuke, and I went into detail about the fact that it's like he had the basis of a really good and interesting character in part one, but then as soon as Shippuden rolled around, he turned into a walking trope. He was the fucking cool guys don't look at explosions meme all the time and not an actual character. Like everybody just wanted to fucking beat their lady dicks to Sasuke constantly, including like grown ass women who are ridiculously hot. Like
Yeah.
the Mizukage being like, "Oh, you and Uchiha are such handsome men." It's like there have to be more attractive people in this world than this fucking loser. Um, yeah, he's just he is the coolest and the strongest and the greatest and the most important just because it's all given to him and not because he actually earns any of that through being a good fucking character. I'm not going to spend too long on this, but yes, I agree with you on Sasuke.
All right, cool. I'm glad we're on the same page on that guy.
Bro, if you think that I rant a lot about Sasuke though, you should check out the first Naruto based episode I did, which was about Sakura, which
Oh,
literally the mission statement of that episode was we have to talk about Sakura first because if I don't, every other Naruto based character episode will always circle back to how much I hate Sakura.
no,
So
all right, I'm gonna make. I know it's your show, but I'm gonna cut you off because don't get
yeah.
me started on Sakura. Oh, I can't stand that character. Like with a passion.
I think that will be a favorite of yours if you listen to that after we're done.
Oh, that's like my mission is like later today I'm gonna like seek out that particular one and I'm just gonna be like absolutely agree on that point, agree
Yeah,
on that point.
well, because I was like literally, I need to make the Sakura episode first so that whenever I start to devolve into a hate-filled Sakura-based rant, I can be like, if you want to know why I dislike Sakura so much, go listen to that episode. I can't waste too much time here.
Oh no, I'm gonna check it out. I promise.
That sounds great. Awesome. All right. So what else do you have to tell me about Alita? I'm feeling like I
So
got a much better grasp of what kind of series it is, what its like sort of themes and the structure of conflicts and everything are in a general sense.
yeah, and well that Destiny Nova guy, you know, typical I wouldn't say typical, but you know how sometimes in movies or anime shonen stuff where the quote unquote antagonist or villain joins the good guys. Like they're like what's the term that I'm looking for? It's like
Villain to hero or
no, not so much that. It's more like they don't want to work together, but for the sake of their goal, they kind of have to at the moment.
oh it's like mutually assured destruction or I get what you mean. It's like they're it's unwilling allies or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So well, fun thing. So after the roller ball, and she's like, well, basically the best has been beaten, or he's no longer there. So she finds a new meaning in life where she's a mercenary, and that's when she gets like bloodthirsty, and that's my favorite phase of Alita is when she's a merc. Um, she has this like giant like sword thing that's like bigger than her, and
Yeah, once again, giving me Cloud Strife kind of vibes.
oh, absolutely.
It sounds like
Um,
actually maybe Final Fantasy VII took a lot of inspiration from this series, maybe.
no, I would believe so. and and so there's this like rebel leader, right?
Mhm.
You mentioned bringing it back to your thing about giant robots. I forget his name. I apologize to anyone listening, but I forget the dude's name. But there's this rebel leader who's this like giant, like half horse or something like that, and like this
Like a
big ass robot.
centaur?
Yeah, kind of. But he's like massive, right? And he's
Okay.
trying to, basically they're trying to. I think they're trying to like bring Zalem down. They're trying to like make a connecting thing to get to Zalem kind of thing. Like we're tired of the separation, or like they're trying to be like liberators or something. But
Uh,
they're
it sounds like and I know this word is a fucking buzzword for people, but legitimately, like no shade or anything. It sounds like a communist type of movement where they're trying to um it's less liberation and more redistribution of wealth, it sounds like
good old Robin
giving
Hood.
more people access to the good shit.
I think that's pretty fair. Although he does seem pretty like aggressive himself, but he's sort of like I wouldn't say sympathetic. He's not even really a villain because he that's like saying like, oh, somebody's like super aggressive about taking out Hitler. I mean, yeah, he's
Well, these days some people are like that. Who was it? The Quartering, where like somebody was like, "Fuck Hitler," and he quote retweeted that, and he's like, "And there it is." Yikes.
but
Uh,
yeah, like,
but so
um,
he's less of a villain and more of a revolutionary then.
yeah, no, that's exactly the word. He's a revolutionary kind of
Okay.
thing. He's like a bandit that has grown a mass following.
All right.
Um, so so he's not really an antagonist or anything for very long. Um,
Sorry, I'm still kind of hung up on the way that you fucking worded that. Like, oh yeah, this guy's really aggressive about taking out Hitler.
yeah, like that's the best way I could say it at the top of my head.
It's so good. That's gonna stick with me.
But so we get to something a little bit fun and a little bit kinky, I guess, if you when we go into it
Oh,
with the just shortly after that. I'm skipping over this one dude that I don't really care for. Uh,
fair.
but anyway, we're getting to a part where I think it's Destinova. He makes Alita clones, or essentially, well, not just Destinova, but also other like, and there's like an agency. Um, I'm a little muddled on who made them. I think the agency made them. There's these clones of Alita. There's one in particular that's like a rival of hers for a while called Sex, and
Wait, called sex?
with a K, like a it's
Oh,
like a weird spelling. Yeah, but it's funny. I'm pretty sure they named it for that purpose because they make innuendos about it later, where like he has this. It's a she, but then changes into a he. So back to the whole like um
transgenderism.
yeah, the whole motif thing.
Right.
And
Okay.
well, there's a point. So I'll mention that in a second. But so there's two other clones. I forgot their names, but they're basically, I don't want to call them assistants of Destinova, but they're sort of like his cheerleaders. He dresses them up in like these cute little outfits, and yeah, that's where it gets kind of weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's starting to sound a little bit like some harem shit.
yeah, no, that's some definite harem shit. He has these Alita lookalikes servicing him in whichever ways like suits his fancy and whatnot, all for the sake of flan and stuff.
Please tell me that they wear maid outfits at some point.
No, yeah, they do, and they wear
Wait,
like
really?
I'm pretty sure they do. Give me, I'll try to find it. 1 second here.
Yeah, okay. This person, I was gonna say dude, but it could be a lady. I don't know. Whoever made this series was just in their horny bag at that point.
Oh no, he was definitely like going through some stuff.
You know what? I'm for it. No shame in the game. But one thing I did want to mention before I wound up forgetting about it is you mentioned that this mercenary arc for Alita is like where she gets like bloodthirsty and how you really like that.
Yeah.
If you like arcs where formerly very naive and innocent friendly characters start to get an edge to them, I think you should start resuming My Hero Academia because season 6, the arc that we're currently in right now, is 100% the Deku gets the edge to him arc. Um, Drops out of school and becomes a vigilante going around stopping villains like fucking Batman. All Might basically becomes his Alfred, and his suit, he's got the stupid fucking rabbit mask, but now it's so tattered and torn up that when he puts the mask on, he looks like Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Like he looks terrifying. In fact, there's actually a line in it where someone's like, "He's so covered in blood and grime, you would never think that he was a hero."
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's really cool.
No, I no, that sounds like something pretty rad. Like definitely like a bit of a tone shift.
It is. It's look, some shit goes down in the first half of season 6, and it forces the tone of the rest of the series to change. But yeah, so okay, so we got like a shadow organization, like an Illuminati that's making Alita clones, and
Yeah. Um.
this Nova guy. So he's sort of like, I know you said he's less of a direct antagonist for a lot of the series and more of just like a sort of acting force, but he's kind of like the Dr. Wily of this, right?
I see. I don't know much about Dr. Wily from Mega Man, but from what I hear about him, seems like he has these like ulterior motives. Destiny Nova, like I said, he's just a mad scientist trying to do mad scientist shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like a less of a direct villain, because Dr. Wily 100% wants to rule the world. He is using science for the direct purpose of ruling the world, whereas this guy, like, it sounds like you said that he's more just science for science's sake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
I said that Dr. Wily 100% is trying to use science to achieve world domination, while this Nova guy sounds like he's just doing science for the sake of science.
Yeah, he's just trying to just, you know, um, uncover more things. Fun fact, if you mind if I mention something about Zalem?
Yeah,
Uh, so if you have you seen the live action movie?
I have not.
Okay. Um,
That's why I'm like, I went into this with like no Alita knowledge.
okay. I don't know if they're ever gonna make a second movie, and the thing I'm gonna mention, they do not like reference necessarily um in the movie. Uh well one part I'm about to mention. So anyone if I remember right, everyone certain people who have ever been to Zalem, they have this like little marking on their forehead. It's sort of like the red dot, like an Indian culture,
Okay.
but not the same meaning. It's sort of like a symbol of you've been to Zalem. You're a Zalemite. Um, the fun thing is, something that Destiny Nova was like the first to like figure out, and he did so because he's just a mad scientist. Their brains are essentially replaced by computer chips,
Mm.
and that causes a revolution in Zalem and whatnot. And when people figure out, because he releases that information, like, hey, just so y'all know, if you've been to Zalem, you ain't got a brain. Like that's not a dig. That's like, here, look at this. And I think he shows it. Like they just have a computer chip.
And that's so fucking, yeah. This is definitely a political commentary that the series is making. I mean, hell, I don't know if this is necessarily the intent, but in addition to the typical like, elitist, ultranationalist, like government highfalutin types will try to brainwash their masses and everything and form a cult and have you, but even in addition to that, like maybe more obvious thing, more relevant today than it was in the 90s is the idea of people not thinking for themselves and letting the computers do all the thinking for them.
Yeah.
So
And
that's pretty deep and topical.
and brings it back to the whole thing, the whole thing about the elitists are having control, you know.
Mhm.
It's very political commentary in that manga series. Um, I'm trying to find like a decent like photo to send you. I'll send you a screenshot on the Discord real quick.
Okay. But yeah, also in case anybody like doesn't already know my ethos on this, to be like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if things weren't political anymore? Like it's always been political. Every good artwork has something to say about the state of the world that we live in, and that is inherently a political commentary. Fucking get over that.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know.
Um,
Um,
all right, so
that
uh,
that's the one image I can find. Those are his like little assistants.
yeah, that's
That
some
he's going
party
through.
shit right there.
Yeah, he's going through some. He's going through something when he's making this.
Especially with the blowjob-o-matic right there next to him too.
I hate those things. They look so hideous.
The little robot
Yeah,
with
and
the tiny doofy little fucking gloved hand.
but then but yeah, so there's a little innuendo where the sex guy SECHS because Fimo when transitioned into a male oriented body had this gun and he was talking about how like it uh well something about like it fires a lot at once but then it can reload or it made some kind of like remark right about the actual firepower of an actual gun and one of those two assistants Elf or his Welf one of them said something like it fires really fast ew and then the other one like a very like disdain like what a chump and then the other one was like all giddy and like excited on oh but he can fire more than once and blah 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 and it's like oh my god.
Yeah, it's that's extremely on the nose right there.
No, yeah, absolutely. But one thing about sex that makes me yeah right but that makes me like that I enjoy.
Think about sex. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, right? It's hard to like when we're talking about those like two kinky design characters.
We're trying so hard to be mature, but every time I hear that name, it's just like I turn into a fucking giggling 12-year-old again.
Yeah. Well, there's this part in sometime in Last Order
Mhm.
where she's trying to be like, no, I made a difference in people's lives, blah blah blah, and she's remembering all the people that she influenced. And there's like these little bubbles of like showing a character. There's a whole page of like a bunch of different characters saying her name, like, oh, Alita, blah blah blah, Alita, Alita. And the sex character goes, Alita, you bitch. And just that was enough for me to just like laugh. I had to stop reading that day and just enjoy that.
That's some fucking S tier character shit right there. Oh, that's like if I ever like hear someone in anime like call someone a slut or something, I'm always just like, what? Because
Yeah.
it's like it's one of those things where it's like a lot of anime characters don't really use language like that. So when you do hear it, it like catches you off guard.
Yeah, right. Like I don't mean to be immature about it, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah. No, it's funny, dude. It's like you can be for women empowerment, but also think it's really funny when someone's just like, "You bitch."
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty great. But yeah, I keep going on. I'm sorry if I'm a little unfocused, like jumping here and there. But
That's the nature of this show, dude. Don't worry about it.
but yeah, if I remember right, so the guy that I skipped over was actually Destiny Nova's son,
Okay.
and I just I never liked him. Honestly, he has this thing where he can like uh I don't know why I'm thinking of the dude from Fate Stay Night, the redhead dude, Shiro or something. I don't know
You
why.
got me.
I'm not sure why I'm thinking about him, but basically this dude he has this ability uh where he can like tap into the memories of any object, if that makes
Okay.
sense, which it shouldn't, but
Well, no, I get what you're saying. Like he can sort of see the past that happened around an object.
um yeah, pretty much like let's say for example there's a samurai sword, and that samurai sword was once wielded by a very skilled samurai. He
Okay.
picks it up and he can suddenly use that sword with the skill of a skilled samurai, that kind of shit.
Oh, so
Like
it's not just being able to see the memories, but also to like ingrain the relevant experiences into himself.
basically yes. People might want to argue with me on that, but I promise you're wrong. um like they make it very clear about that part. um Yeah, I don't know how they describe. I don't remember how they describe it, but he has some kind of like relationship to things that he touches, and um, yeah, just I never really cared for that dude, so I kind of skipped over him.
I think there's a lot of series that have that one character that people are just like, oh God, we gotta waste a scene on this fucking guy. Oh, okay. Like recently I've been watching Marvel's Runaways,
Oh, okay.
and it's a good series. Uh
Yeah, you mentioned it.
but uh whenever we have to deal with this character Leslie, who she's one of the parents of the main characters, and there's this entire like the main plot of the series really focuses on these aliens called the Gaborum, which one of the kids, like the main bad guy or whatever, Jonah, who's a Gaborum, he's her dad, this girl Carolina. So you would expect Carolina to like be sort of like main character status, but she's kind of not. Um, weirdly enough, she's more of a supporting character to the more main guys. Um, Leslie is her mom. She runs the Church of Gaborum, which is literally just like it was originally like a peyote fueled like 60s 70s kind of small organization that was made by this like hippie drug dude that was Leslie's dad. But then the alien Jonah came in and he's got glowy light powers, and so he convinced her dad that he was like the angel of the church. So over the decades, it wound up becoming this giant organization. And these are like super creepy cult level church shit where like when you start to denounce the church, you know how like family members will host an intervention and they'll all be waiting for you in a room and they'll be like, please sit down. And they kind of try to force it, but they don't like physically restrain you.
Yeah,
Imagine that, but the church members have white robes and they literally have wrist straps on a chair to physically restrain you.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyway, a lot of her plot lines, like oh, she gets pregnant with the second baby, and it's destined to be the leader of a revolution, you know, another planet or fuck. I don't care. I every time she pops up on the screen, it's either about her relationship with the church and whether she's lost or renewed her faith, or you know her relationship with Jonah or her stupid baby shit. Yeah, it's like I don't care.
Like that honestly gives me some major Terminator vibes with the whole like John Connor is going to be the savior of the world. Let's focus for like 10 movies on Sarah Connor. Like,
Uh,
let's talk about the time she was in rehab.
I understand why they keep coming back to Sarah because she's the original protagonist of the franchise. She was the horror movie survivor of the first movie, which
Hmm.
was more of a horror movie than a sci-fi epic action thing. Um, I get that logic where you want to keep coming back to the original protag, but yeah, after Terminator 2 made it very clear that the entire reason she was hunted in the first place was because of her son being the real hero, you would think that they would shift focus, but it Hollywood is also creatively bankrupt, and that's why Jamie Lee Curtis is still coming back in the fucking Halloween movies and everything. It's because they just want to keep retreading old ground. They're terrified to do new things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like honestly, I don't really care for the new Halloween movies. I actually kind of despise them. I'm not saying like, oh well, H2O was like a cinematic masterpiece. Like saying these are bad doesn't mean that the old ones were necessarily good. Like you can just not like them.
I Every time I hear H2O, I think of that mermaid movie.
Yeah, that show, that Australian show.
Yeah. Well, they oh yeah. Okay, I think I'm always confusing that with there was a movie in the early 2000s about like a trio of girlfriends and one of them was a mermaid.
I do remember I know my sister used to watch the show that was H2O something, just add water or something like that. I don't know if it was also a movie, but
It was similar to that. There was hang on, I'm gonna hang on. Just come on, tab, open up. Early 2000s mermaid movie. Aquamarine. That's what I'm thinking of.
okay.
Oh, there was also the 13th year. I forgot about that. That was Disney's thing where it was a guy that
I'm gonna be honest. I missed that one. I didn't see that one, and I don't have regrets.
it was just a kid turns 13 and he finds out when like he goes swimming and his legs start to morph into a mermaid tail that he's half mermaid or some shit.
Uh, that I think that sounds a little bit close to like the Luck of the Irish or something, one that they did a
It,
long time ago.
it's pretty much the exact same thing as Luck of the Irish, except instead of a leprechaun, he's a mermaid. Like
Yeah,
it's almost beat for beat the same movie.
like I mean, but that one, if we're gonna mention that one, the whole Luck of the Irish thing is kind of ironic, trying to be a basketball star and then suddenly you find out you're a leprechaun.
It was really funny. I thought that was a great premise. Some of those Disney Channel original movies were really good. I always loved Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
I've seen that one. Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah.
like where he was a baseball player and
Yeah.
everybody was pushing this gender normative, like super macho masculine shit onto him because, like, oh, you're gonna be a big tough boy. You're gonna be a baseball player. Yeah, you don't let your community down. But he just really wanted to be a chef. And they're like they weren't allowed to say like gay because it was a Disney Channel thing, but it was very clear that they were being like, "Ooh, what are you, a faggot? You're fucking trying to cook with your gay little fucking apron." Ugh. And the moral of the story was, "Hey, let people do what the fuck they want."
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing also, like, and so like, challenging gender norms is like, again, about the Alita thing of like um again, challenging gender norms where, like you mentioned, about being like kind of shonen style rather than a shoujo, is it?
Yeah, Jojo.
Um, and I absolutely agree. Where honestly, Alita is my favorite manga character because she's just entirely badass, and just for the sake of it, she's just doing her own thing, and she just happens to be really awesome at it. Um,
Especially back in the 90s, it was hard to get that with female protagonists, and I think that that's really cool. I like whenever I see a series that is willing to um, be more progressive. They're willing to push the envelope, do things that are outside of what's considered allowable in a medium. Again, I was just complaining about how Hollywood never wants to take risks anymore. And I think that's fucking shameful because if you're an artist, taking risks is the measure of your aptitude as an artist, right? Like
right.
if you're just painting the fucking Mona Lisa again, you're not making any new work. So you have to be willing to get weird and do cubist shit like Pablo Picasso or whatever. You get what I mean? Like
No, no, I absolutely get what you mean.
so with them pushing gender norms like 20 plus years before that was considered like
The
acceptable.
norm.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, and again, like I mentioned, the sex. There's no way to say that without it sounding like that. I'm sorry.
I get it.
That,
Also, we're a little over 8 minutes left.
all right. Well, I think we're about done. There's not really much more for me to say on Alita.
Okay.
Just that if you're into like dystopian societies, challenging the establishment, um, very Rage Against the Machine,
Yes.
like pun not intended but very well accepted. Uh, the I don't know. I feel like it's kind of in a league of its own. I really appreciate the series for what it is, and I can't recommend it enough, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like it drew inspiration from things like Astro Boy, um,
Absolutely.
like maybe Mega Man and stuff like that. But then in turn, it helped inspire other things like I said, Final Fantasy VII, and other more modern robot series. So it kind of feels like a missing link in this chain that I've always been a fan of. So I'm kind of happy to have learned about it today. Um, so thank you, man. This was really fun and informative, and I might have to check out more about this franchise now.
Well, it's my pleasure. And if there's one thing I say, I'm going to listen to your soccer episode for sure. I can't wait for that. But if there's like one franchise, I know you mentioned about My Hero Academia, but if you had to pick one anime or franchise or something like that for me to like um delve into, what would you recommend to be my first one to start up on?
Well, like I said, I do think you should resume My Hero because I think it's probably going to end in like season 7. Um,
Okay.
so there's not much more of it, but I did recommend you Gurren Lagann a long time ago, and that showed how good my taste was. Um, like I'm actually looking at my list of stuff that I'm wanting to watch with Lou because I keep adding to this like good stuff that I think of. Cowboy Bebop is on here. uh, oh man, like some of this isn't even anime, but it's like anime inspired. Like Jackie Chan Adventures was really fun. Shaolin
That's
Showdown.
Yes,
Um,
those are nostalgic from childhood. I remember those.
did you ever watch the 2003 TMNT series?
Uh, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I never like sat all the way through it, but I have seen parts of it.
It's like an 8 season kind of thing, right? Like you got the 4 original series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then you've got a lost season, quote unquote. I don't know if it was like direct to DVD or what, but like they turn into dragons in that one.
But yeah, no, I have seen parts of it. I do remember that. Yeah, because it was like the 2008 or something, or 2010 or something like that, where they went a little more bulgy and a little more CG. But the 2003 one, I do remember.
Yeah, so like that's really good. I don't know, like stuff like Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, breezy watch, super good. Um, like it's tough because like I feel like a lot of the things that I've watched, because like some people would probably call me a fake fan or something because I stick to a lot of the more mainstream stuff. So stuff that I've seen, you've probably also seen. Um,
Mhm.
a- and that's why like a lot of my recommendations right now are like cartoons and less anime because I've been chilling out on anime more lately, um, letting myself hyper focus on series that I really like.
Right.
Um, and I'll DM you stuff as I think of it.
All right. Well, let
Um,
me ask you this. Should I check out the Hot Wheels movies or should I
yes, you
get
should.
back into the
There's 5 movies. There's Hot Wheels World Race, and then there's 4 movies called Acceleracers, and I will send you links to watch those movies.
Okay, is there an order in which I have to watch them, or does it matter?
It's World Race. Then the Acceleracers movies go Ignition, Speed of Silence, Breaking Point, and The Ultimate Race.
Okay.
There's
Um,
also little like 5 minute YouTube videos that happen in between the movies for Acceleracers. I'll send you those.
all right, yeah, if you want to DM me like the list, yeah, I'll check it out.
I will. All right, but for now, I got to start doing the wrap up. We're at like 3.5 minutes. So
You
everybody,
got it.
thank you for listening. You can join the Cape Corner Discord. Uh, post suggestions for stuff that you want to hear us talk about there. Sometimes I'll post polls that you can vote on. You can support me on my Anchor page. It works exactly like Patreon. So if you want to do like $1 every month, that's totally cool. I will not sneeze at it. Free money is free money. Okay, you can follow me at Cape Corner on Twitter. My personal Twitter is at BeyondBlue13. Be aware, I sometimes post unhinged socio-political rants or like titties or something. So it's definitely my personal thing. It's less professional. The Hall of Pods podcast network. I'm part of it. The link tree is in the description. You can listen to the SJW Comic Book Club and the Fandom Optimists and True Believers, a comic book podcast. And if you know anybody that you think would enjoy this episode, share this episode with a friend. Maybe tell them of other episodes we've got. Again, I talk about comic book characters, movie characters, anime characters, video game characters, whatever. Even video game characters you think I could not make a full episode about, I did an entire episode about Doom Guy. Because he has a surprisingly dense amount of lore. All right, but with all that said, I want to once again thank Kairu for joining me. My guy, it is always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise, man. Thank you.
Of course, everybody, thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay true to yourselves, and remember, we can all be heroes.